About bloody time, right? We basically released zero content for 3 weeks, and to be fair, I was just having a little downtime, little R&R for Uncle Potsquatch. Working a normal job, like 9 to 5 kind of a thing, is proven an interesting switch for me. I mean, I spent 15 years working nights, so this switch to days, it's been an interesting thing to get used to. But hey, here we are. We still got the plants going. Released a little 1 week of flower update for everybody last night. Overall, flowering is going really well. The plant's a little finicky. That's part why I jumped into flower rather than running it into another couple of weeks of veg to try to like fill out that last little bit of the tent there, just because it was being finicky. And I was like, well, once I go into flower, it's going to transition away from what its actual nutritional requirements are going to be. It's going to be easier to just kind of finish it out that way. 1 second here. I'm going to make sure that I've got the filter set to all messages. There we go. And I'm going to go back to the beginning there, and I'm going to say hello to everybody. What's up, Soul Price? Good to see you, buddy. What's up, Daddy O Grows? What's up, WB Growers? What's up, Tony Gilbert? All right. Anyone else who joins, I will say hi as you pop in and say hello, and I can see you. For those of you, what's up, Chris Barton? What's up, Marcus Paris? Also, too, anyone who's new here, feel free to participate in the chat. We do engage with our audience members. We do read what you say. We do answer questions. There is no such thing as a stupid question. Everyone is welcome, so feel free to join the show and participate. Also, too, I guess I should do the thing that YouTubers are supposed to do, and, don't forget to smash that like button. You just smash it, okay? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button with the little bell. Make sure that's on so you might get notifications of us going live. As a cannabis channel and on YouTube, typically there is a bit of a sort of a shadow block or ban that seems to go on. So not always will you get the notifications. I've even heard people who were subscribed being unsubscribed and having to resubscribe. Who bloody knows? But anyway, all right. What's up, Charles Colacito Spaz? Good to see you. What's up, Eugene Dolan? Good to see you, buddy. What's up, That One Stuff? Good to see you. What's up, Ivan Daigle? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah. What's fun and exciting in the world of Squatch? I've got this new video I've been contemplating doing. I'm going to do it. I got to get a few bucks together to order the parts for it. Going forward, I think I want to do a couple of, do a grow, but also do some more educational videos to share and help some fun ideas and techniques and ways to be successful while reducing the amount of money it's going to take to run or set up a grow. At the end of the day, things are only getting more expensive in this day and age. I can attest to that. I live in Vancouver, BC. I will admit it is shocking how expensive things are. At my new job, I make decent money, and I live paycheck to paycheck, and I feel like I'm just working to just pay bills. So I figured, you know what? Like, this could be a fun kind of set of a few things, right? So, for example, let's say you've got a grow tent. Let's say you've got a grow light, but that light isn't really proving to be quite enough. And you don't want to go drop hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a replacement or an additional light, okay? Because typically, as I say to most people, you get what you pay for when it comes to equipment, and so that's where shelling out the few extra bucks is usually a good thing, typically when it comes to acquiring our equipment. That's why I don't have a fan yet. Like, I could buy a cheap fan really easily, but what I want to get for this tent and for this flower run, and I'm hoping to, get the scratch together in the next couple of weeks to be able to acquire it, is I really want to get one of the new AC Infinity fans. I'm going to get the 9-inch, the new version 9-inch one. It's got oscillation. It's got 10 power modes. It sounds really cool. And it's also got a motor in it that's designed to run continuously and keep rocking. 1 second here, everybody. I'm just going to say hi to anyone I've missed. TLCOG. Okay, you're talking to each other. I don't know what that is. So there we go. So one of the things that I thought of, right, and it kind of occurred to me the other day when I was up on a ladder and I was fixing some lamps, some fluorescent tube lamps, up in a parkade. So I was up on top of a ladder. I was replacing the ballast and rewiring a new 4-tube fluorescent ballast into a lamp in a parkade 30 feet on a ladder. And then I am slowly switching all the bulbs over to basically using a new LED replacement from Philips, which is pretty cool. It's 3,500 Kelvin. It's really pretty inexpensive to get the parts to make what I'm thinking. So what I'm going to be doing is making a video on showing you how to, for a low cost, make an augmenting secondary light that you can put in as a side lighting system that'll be compatible with any tent, whether it's a 2x4, 4x4. It's going to allow you to add in some extra oomph for a low cost. So that's a video I'm hoping to be able to make this month for everyone. I just got to either acquire the parts to do it or have a few extra shekels so I can order the things in to do it. You know what I'm saying? Buzzkill Willis says, hell, first live I got a notice for in a month. I mean, in all honesty, I haven't done a live in like 3 weeks. It's been roughly 3 weeks since we released content. We released an update video yesterday, and we're doing a live stream today. So I'm not surprised that you didn't get any notifications because I didn't do anything. But I'm glad that you got the notification today, Buzzkill Willis. Welcome to the show, buddy. But yeah, I'm excited for this little kind of experimental, project, and it'll be something that is accessible. Like, it's something that everyone, with a few bucks can afford to do. And it'll work really well with it being an LED tube replacement. So it's not fluorescent tubes. You don't need to worry about chemicals. You don't need to worry about toxic anything. It's not going to produce a crap ton of heat. These bulbs don't get smoking hot, but they do throw off a decent amount of light in terms of functioning as a secondary side lighting light source. So that's kind of one of the things we're going to be doing. It's going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to it. What's happening, Daniel and Drasty? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Welcome to the show, my friend. But as I shared before, on the next run, after this run, so once we finish flowering on this run specifically, we are going to be doing something a little fun. Big shout out to Texas Squatch. He's been bugging me to run some of his autos. I have resisted for the better part of 10 years growing autos on this channel. I am not an auto kind of guy. I'm not a fan of running autos. They're just not my cup of tea. If you're an autoflower grower, I mean, hey, power to you. I'll always support your right to like to grow autos. I will say, yeah, they've definitely come a long way in years gone by since sort of the initial colloquial works done by the joint doctor with lowrider number 1 and lowrider number 2. But we're going to run some autos. So we're going to do it in honor of Texas Squatch. So we're going to pop some of Texas Squatch's autos. And to be fair, I've got one other thing of auto flowering beans in my collection from years ago that someone sent us. It was a Potsquatch at home who sent them in to us, who had made them themselves. I can't remember who sent them to me. I'm sure that person eventually, hopefully, will see a video when we are doing that run. So we're going to run a couple of Mikeys, and then we'll run 1 or 2 as well of these other ones here as well. So it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. It'll be a lot of fun. Buzzkill Willis says, I sent a 4x4x8 grow tent to you, but was refused by customs. That's weird. Because it's not illegal to send that tent. What did you list it as on the customs form? In all curiosity. Probably one of the easiest ways, if you do run into stuff like that, like one of the ideas I was having, Buzzkill, would have been just to go on Amazon, order something off of there, and then just put my address as the delivery address. That's a great way, but that's weird that it got bounced back by customs because grow tents are not illegal. But customs are weird. Marcus Pires says, autos are okay, hit and miss. Got extra harvest this year. Autos alongside my vegging photos. Heck yeah, brother. Like, I mean, autoflowers definitely have their place in the cannabis world. Any place that has a short outdoor season, people who want to do a quick run while they've got their photos vegging out. People who are wanting to grow maybe a slightly smaller plant that's got a quicker turnaround time with limited space. Like, I mean, they definitely have their place in the world. I've just never been one to play with autos. It's never been my jam, but we're finally going to do it. We're going to do it after this run. So after this run, we're going to rock some autos for everybody. What's happening, Hooli? Good to see you, buddy. Cheers back to you, my friend. All right, all right, all right. What's up, Miss Case Garden? Good to see you. All right. 1 second here. I'm just making sure I haven't missed any of the messages. I believe we're good to go. All right. So, yeah, I think Texas Squatch will be happy to check that out and see us finally, rock some of those in honor of Texas there. So that'll be fun. And then I believe, if I'm if let's go years ago, but the other autos that I have are like a skunk skunk mass or something like that by something else. So, kind of a sat dom hybrid, kind of nice and skunky. So it'll be fun. We'll do that. What's up, Tony Clifton? Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, we haven't released a lot of content recently. I've just been, tired and taking some me time. Really, um, you know, it's been a weird adjustment getting used to working a normal job. I'll tell you. Like, I mean, it's funny because like I was working basically the same amount doing my night shifts, but working nights and working during the day are just so different. It's just such a different reality. Um, Buzzkill Willis says it was in its original packaging, and they said it was the fact that there was vegetables on one side and the other showed marijuana on the other. What? Buzzkill Willis. That's the weirdest thing ever. I love how it's coming from a country where it's not even federally legal, and it's okay to have that on there, and then they took issue with it at the border here. That's really funny. Okay, well, we've learned that the Canadian Customs gets weird when they see a picture of weed. They get scared if they see a picture of weed. To be fair, I'm not surprised. Can you say you're shocked? I mean, the government is a special place. What's up, Elizabeth Gomez? Good to see you. Missed you too. What's crack lacking? Tony Clifton says, a government job? No, I don't work for the government. I work for a high-end retirement living company. I am the mobile maintenance technician. I work at all 6 of their buildings, and I also fill in for the building services managers when they take time off for holidays and stuff. So I play with tools all day now, everybody. No, I play with tools all day. I fix stuff. I problem solve, and I get creative. And to be fair, that's why like I came up with this new side lighting thing that I wanted to do for everybody, which would be a low cost way to augment the lighting in your tent. And it's something that'll be very simple wiring that everybody can do. So it'll be a lot of fun. And, it's got me thinking like, working this way all the time, using my brain, using my hands, working with tools. So there's so many things that I want to build and play with. That's where I think we're going to be able to make some really cool videos about fabricating and building things out of kind of normal everyday stuff that will help people do successful grow without having to spend like $1 billion. Yeah. Buzzkill Willis says it's a first time. It's a first for me, as in terms of seeing what happened with the border. Yeah, that's just weird, Buzz. I mean, in one sense, it kind of makes sense in that, maybe they like. I get it. They see a picture on something, so they freak out. But that's just weird to me. That's just weird. But yeah. That's right. Basically, I'm basically a handyman. Everybody. That's right. I do everything. I do plumbing. I do wiring. I do, all the electrical things. I fix washing machines. I fix vacuums. I flush out pipes. I redo pipes. I do big, giant industrial piping. Sometimes I'm just changing light bulbs. Sometimes I'm teaching an old person how to use their TV. Sometimes I'm just replacing a battery in a water detection system in a suite. I mean, it's a little bit all over the place. Peace out, Marcus, if you're outie, man. Thanks for popping in to say hi. What's up, Goddess Ganjanana, yo mama? It's been a hot minute, girl. Good to see ya. I hope you're doing well. Also, too, if you see Mac or talk to Mac, tell him I say hi, and I hope he's well, too. But, yeah, lots of fun things to kind of build and play with. And then there was a couple of things that we built, in older videos, like when we made our, yeast-driven CO2 excretion device. I want to make a new one of those. When we made our, carbon can filter, the thing functioned for sure, but I definitely feel like I could do a better design now than we did back then. So I kind of want to remake a couple of those videos and then make some new ones that I think will be very helpful for people at home. I'm really excited, like I said, about this new side lighting idea that I've got going on. It's going to be accessible and it's going to be affordable and anybody can do it. And it's going to be a very clear, straightforward video, step by step. So nobody will have to be intimidated by it. It'll be very much good to go for anyone at home who's wanting to try. What's happening, Yeti Mountain Trading? Good to see you, my friend. Rock and roll. But yeah, and you know what? I've been toying with an idea because, again, sort of with thinking about sort of some of the new videos of how to make things low cost, how to make things yourself, how to be successful at home, utilizing next to no money or very little money and a little bit of, creativity. we all need a little helping hand at the moment. Everything's so bloody expensive. So I'm thinking starting November 1st. So starting November 1st, for both the months of both November and December, leading all the way up for 2 months, leading up to December 31st when we go into 2025. I think, no, we'll do it. Screw it. I mean, I'm the one who approves it anyway. I'm the head of my company, and the board of governors, well, they typically always vote yes. So we will do a 25% off. That's right, a 25% off sale on everything on the store for 2 months. So if you're wanting to get some beans for a loved one for Christmas or anything along those lines, or anything, whether it's a grinder, whether it's papers, whether it's stickers, whether it's CBD or our beard oil or any of that stuff, we're going to make a 25% sale starting November 1st for both November and December. That will be at potsquatchsales.com. That's POTSQUATCHSALES, one word.com. Check it out. That is the place to do it. Tony Clifton says, I stopped growing for a while. Damn, electric is way down. Those HPSs. Dude, bro, I know. HPS will suck a lot of money. What's happening, little Chewy Stewie? Good to see you, buddy. What's up, man? How's it over in the UK, buddy? No, Potsquatch sales, sold price, not sells. Potsquatch sales, SALES. If you could retype that for everybody, that'd be great. I have not gotten those in yet, Miss K, because we have not had enough sales. The store isn't even the store's barely paying for itself. I think this is the first month where the store, since I've been back in Vancouver, hasn't paid for itself. So I'm on very limited means right now. So I'm basically barely keeping the cost of the store open. Our costs a month are about $200 just for hosting, and all the other stuff that I pay are the company that does our stuff to like keep us safe and keep all of that sort of going. Not to mention my bills are extremely high. So sadly, I have not had any extra additional money to order in XLs. We will be ordering in more shirts, whether they're exactly the same as the original shirts, or am I going to redesign a new shirt? I've been toying with releasing a new shirt if we were to bring shirts in again, but we'll see. But yeah, so sadly, I do apologize, Miss K. I have not brought in any XLs yet, just because there hasn't been any money available for expansion. I was really hoping, and I was sure we were going to be able to have a little bit extra scratch to bring in some toques for everybody. That hasn't happened either. So anyway, simply put, we're doing a sale, everybody. We're going to liquidate what's on hand. Hopefully get a good chunk of change over the next 2 months where one, we'll be able to keep the store open and operating. But also two, maybe we can make enough where we have a little bit of extra money that we can actually bring in some other goods for everybody and goodies on the store. What's up, that guy, Channel 2? Good to see you, buddy. All right. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you, Ganja. Nana, yo mama. Thank you for sharing them. But yeah, things are expensive. Like, it's hilarious. I went to the store the other day just to buy a few things. Oh yeah, Miss K, we have like literally at least 200 grinders still in-house, all in the original packaging. It's funny because when I was originally ordering things for the store, I ordered like 50 smalls and 50 mediums, right? Like I probably should have ordered like 5 smalls and 5 mediums, because I think I've maybe sold 2 smalls and 2 mediums the entire time we've had our store, where I should have bought a lot more of the bigger sizes. That was a learning experience for me in terms of what should we have actually spent money on. We ordered in tons of grinders. Those sell pretty decently though, but we still have tons of them, so don't worry. Lots of grinders on hand, and we still have a ridiculous amount of rolling papers too. Boxes upon boxes upon boxes of rolling papers as well. So that's all there, ready to rock. I'm still using the very first grinder that was ever made. So originally when we first did the grinders, I got the company that made them for us to do one up. It cost me like $120 to get them to do a trial mock-up. I just wanted to make sure it was going to be the way I wanted it. So that first grinder they made as a trial mock-up, it's basically the same as the other ones, except that where the laser inscribing went on it, it was sort of a darker gray, where the other ones are much brighter metal color, like from the laser inscription. So that first one, but I still use that. That is still the grinder I use every single day. That guy, Channel 2, Ponce, what's going on with the plant? Which plant? Dan Stutzky, what's my tincture like? The tincture that we have available on our store is a broad spectrum CBD tincture. It is non psychoactive. It is meant for a bunch of different really reasons. Whether you're dealing with PTSD, you're dealing with nerve pain, you're dealing with pain, insomnia, all these types of things. It seems to do a very good job dealing with that. And simply put, one funny thing that's an actual reality of our tincture is it seems to help with a greater amount of blood flow to a gentleman's you know what. And there's a bunch of old guys who were locally who started buying my tinctures. And they were buying it for like pain and injury. They were old and broken, so they started using them and they loved it and it was really helpful for them. But then they also all discovered that their dick seemed to work again all of a sudden really really well, and it was really funny. The first time I heard this, I was sitting in a pub having a beer, and one of the old guys in the local community who had tried our tincture again for nerve damage and nerve pain came in and he starts screaming. He goes, "Potsquatch, your tincture makes my dick work." And I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about, man? So when we made this tincture, it was to make an affordable, accessible CBD product that was reliable for people, okay? But it seems to have the side effect of making a man's Johnson work better as well. So there we go. Viagra and Cialis weren't made for your dick. They were made to treat, Viagra was a heart medication. Cialis or Tadalafil was meant for your prostate. And then it also made other things work. So there we go. Yeah. The sideways plant. Yeah. Okay. No, I wasn't sure if you're talking about the plant. It's in flower. It's going on. I mean, it's just stressed out, man. I think this plant, this genetic is just one. It's had a sensitivity to salt-based nutrients. That's where I've backed off of using bottled nutrients. It's rare to see a plant react so negatively to salt-based. I've seen it a couple of times over the years, but it's not very common. And it could be a little bit of temperature stress. It could also be the fact that I've crammed a double squatch into a 2x4. So I'm cranking probably more light at it than I probably should be. But again, that's kind of my style. I like to crank, go big or go home. So where there's some weird leaf formations on that, and I was doing my slow transition into flower technique leading up to it, which it was okay with, but then that's what sort of seemed to trigger also the weird trifoliate formations where it was only throwing 3-fingered leaves. Which is typically a stress response on a plant. So it's dealing with some stress and that, but that's okay. To be fair though, like it's as much, even though its foliar development in spots is really irritating to me, and I won't lie to you, it pisses me off. I mean, I'm frustrated with how finicky this plant has been. It is flowering amazingly though, and it was throwing trikes on its fan leaves in vegetation, which is always a good sign. So really, where it's a little floopy, I'm just going to keep soldiering on with it. And to be fair, I think we're going to have a record-breaking yield in a 2x4 tent with this thing and this new squatch lining technique, as I've been calling it. It's really come together, and I think we're going to have a ridiculous amount of beautiful tops. It's going to be a good time. Yeah, I'm cranking a lot of light at it too, though, too, Dan, right? Like, so you're not wrong. I definitely think lighting and the amount of light I've forced into this tent on this plant is definitely playing part of it too. To be fair, I mean, I've got air intake, so there's basic air movement in there, but I do really need to get a fan in the next week or two to keep that air movement going. I'm going to get myself, hopefully, if I can put the dollars together, an AC Infinity 9-inch, the new model with oscillation. That's kind of what I'm looking forward to. Crip, that is totally fine. We can keep that. Okay, so Crip said, if the tincture makes the guy's willy work, why did yours almost fall off? Mine didn't almost fall off. Mine started going necrotic and killing itself. I was hit by a freak streptococcal bacterial infection caused by the Omicron variant of COVID. I got strep of the dick. They've never seen it before. I made medical history. First time. I was original. And let's be fair, a super crazy bug that more than likely may not be naturally occurring, and having a mutated variant that came off and caused an epidemic around the world of strep infections doing weird things. A lot of people died. A lot of amputations happened. I spent the first week in the hospital trying to have them not cut my willy off. no tincture is going to protect you from that. It is a freak viral induced bacterial infection doing something freakish. So again, my tincture, just because it's going to get you maybe a better erection, doesn't mean it's going to protect you from a streptococcal freak bacterial infection. Okay, so if your dick starts changing, go to the doctor. Don't put some tincture on it. Okay, go to the doctors and get some antibiotics. But good question, Crip. Good question, and I'm happy to answer it. It was kind of a funny question in my mind. So, Dan Stutzky, the LED lights are getting too strong. They kind of are too. Yeah, the 10-speed fan with oscillation is really what I want to see. One second here. Mukesh, I don't know who Nikhil is, but Nikhil, maybe be quiet and don't worry about it. I'll say that. I'm not going to swear at a person I don't know. Dan Stutzky says stroking it too much. No, it wasn't that. I mean, I did have a lot of rambunctious sex leading up to when I got sick and was in the hospital, but no, it wasn't a sex-caused thing. It was caused by Omicron. Yeah, it was an interesting thing, ladies and gentlemen. What are you going to do, right? But things are good to go. Never a dull moment in Uncle Potsquatch's life. You know, I don't do anything small. So, you know, no worries, Crip. Eugene Dolan says, I have the store address screenshot. Or order my grinder after the show. Oh, heck yeah. And Eugene Dolan, like I said, if you wait until November 1st, Eugene, it will all be on sale, okay? So maybe we can start the sale tonight. I got to call our computer dude to get him to put that in place. I was going to start it as of November 1st, but I guess we can just activate it now. There's no difference, and I don't want to make people have to wait a few days if they're wanting to order something. And I don't want you to order it now when in like a week, it's going to be 25% off for everybody. So We'll do that. Miss Case Garden, he lives Frankenweenie. That's right, Frankenweenie lives. It is the age of Frankenweenie. Tony Clift, what are you going to do? Stop at the jabs. No, Tony Clifton, this wasn't based off the vaccine. It was based off of COVID. If I had not had the vaccine, more than likely, I would have probably died. It was not caused by the jab, guys. It was caused by the Omicron variant. But I'll be honest too. I have no desire to have any more COVID vaccines either. I've already had 4, and unless I have to for work, I'm not taking any more. Personally speaking, I'm not an immunocompromised person. My dad's had like 12 of them because he is immunocompromised, right? So for me, I'm good. I'm good on the jabs. I don't need any more. Like. I don't feel the need to take any more of those, but I was happy to at the time, but I'm good to go. And Anthony Cordero, yeah, dude, it is almost Halloween, and if everyone remembers, my surgery to bring Frankenweenie into existence was October 31st last year. So my new Willie, his 1-year anniversary of life, his 1-year birthday will be this Halloween. I almost forgot about that actually for a second, I didn't really put 2 and 2 together on that one. So yeah, I guess October 31st, it'll be the 1-year birthday. Dude, plants doing not too bad. I mean, it's flowering really well. It's still being finicky as all hell, and that's fine. These things happen sometimes. And to be fair, I've stressed out the plant with the amount of light. It definitely proved to be a little bit sensitive to some of the bottle newts that I was using, which again, isn't common, but does happen sometimes. But she's flowering like a boss though. And when I've been doing defoliation on it, it's already super sticky. Just even the stem segments to the fan leaves and their natural sap, it's sticky on my fingers. It's pretty cool, man. But yeah, here we go. 1 second here. Let me flip the camera around. There we go. So, she had initial onset of actual extreme nitrogen sensitivity from the salt-based nutrients. Hence, we've got a lot of this curling going on. She's had these weird dual or trifoliate leaves that she's been throwing from the weird transition. So she's been finicky. Like, she's been finicky, man. But the flower formations, though, are going really, really well. And these are going to turn into big, beautiful, giant super colas. So I'm excited about that. Am I overly happy that she's proven to be finicky about certain things? No, but I also knew it was potentially possible. Like, I've crammed a double squash into a 2x4 tent, everybody. This light is designed with a core coverage of a 4x4, but covers much more than a 4x4 area in an open concept room. And I'm the special dipshit who crammed a whole double squash in here. But the funny thing is where she might be stressed, she's flowering amazingly. Her resin production seems to be off the charts. So where, she's stressed, is her foliar perfect? No, but I don't really care about the fan leaves. Like, that's what I'm not growing fan leaves to have good fan leaves. I'm growing bud. So the buds themselves are actually coming out really, 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 really nicely. Unc, one fixture would have been more than enough. I've crammed 2 fixtures in. So this is one light. We build our double squatches into having dual fixtures, okay? So they're a dual fixtured light. It just gives you greater playability, shall we say, or adjustability within your grow. But yeah, like I didn't need to cram a double squatch in there, but I wanted to. I wanted to see what would happen. The plant needs a safe word. Nah, I wouldn't listen to it anyway. It's going to do what I think. It's going to do what I tell it. But the buds are coming out really phenomenal. And as much as, like, she's not overly happy in certain ways, that stress is leading to supreme resin production and super flowering. And I definitely think we're going to have a record-breaking pull on a 2x4 on this one for sure. Tell Joyce I say, what's up, girl? How's it going? Tell Joyce I say hi. That guy channel 2. Sorry, I'm just reading, making sure. So Unc, yesterday was 1 week of flower. So Mondays are our flowering week updates. So 1 week of flower was last week, or yesterday, I mean. So next Monday will be 2 weeks going on and so forth and shit. Marcus, I mean, it is. I mean, I'm going to have a stretch going on, obviously, with this plant for the next, 2 or 3 weeks, obviously, as it's transitioning into itself. And that stretch will slow down, but will continue predominantly until sort of later-ish flower, right? Like, and then it's really just going to be solidly just doing the buds, you know what I'm saying? Dan Stutzky, this strain is blue cheese by Girl Scout cookies. So it's a blue cheese crossed by Girl Scout cookies. Buzzkill Willis. No, I didn't need to add any addition in terms of length or anything like that. I'm more than happy with what I was blessed with naturally. I did ask if they could build in a vibrating feature, but they said no. Wasn't covered by my socialized medicine. Oh, totally. I mean, Dan, I think this is going to turn into arguably one of the best yields I've ever done in a 2x4 tent, but also probably that anyone's ever really seen on YouTube. It's going to be a record-breaking yield, I think, for this 2x4 run that we're doing. So it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. Feeling good about it. You know what I'm saying? The next fun experiment, though, too, I will be curious to run some of Texas Squatch's autos there. I'm looking forward to that. We'll see. We'll see how they go. I mean, I'm not really, like I said, not an auto guy, but I've been telling Texas I would do it. I've been telling everybody over the years that I will one day eventually do an auto run for everyone. It's been a thing that people have asked for, arguably for like 6, 7 years now. And I've resisted it. And then resisted it some more. And then, yeah, we'll do it just for fun. Why not? In honor of Texas. Um, Miss K's Garden, I would say more than likely, I would say it's probably the Girl Scout cookies because, I mean, Girl Scout cookies has become such a prevalent strain in a lot of breeding projects out there. So I feel like a lot of the Girl Scout cookies genetics that are being utilized by people out there now aren't really the origin story Girl Scout, you know, cookies. I think it's gotten a little floopy. It's got compounding by funky, weird, breeding practices, feminization, and all these types of things, right? So I think, like for example, now in a modern day time, I see a lot more weird things. Hey, no worries, that guy channel too. Thanks, bud. I'm seeing a lot more odd genetics and weird occurrences happening now than I used to for years gone by. There's been so many times back in the day where I didn't really ever see anything, even when it was stressed. It is so much more common now to see these weird stress responses from plants and genetics out there. Not to mention that things like herm like crazy now. And I mean, herming barely happened back in the day. And it's doing it in such a way now though, like some herms, like they'll like ninja nanners and other types of actual hermaphroditism exhibiting itself. Like it's almost like the way the plant is expressing that has actually developed and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so there we go. Yeah. Oh, that's okay. Dude, if the haters weren't showing up in the show for fun, right? There'd be something wrong. Probably just the little minions of the Grow Boss. Dan, I mean, pheno hunting, if wait, I know I can fix this. Wait, go down like this. Oh, right. Does it work now? Yeah, I had a phone call coming in, everybody. That was my boss calling, and I feel bad that I wasn't able to answer his phone call, but I was doing a live stream, so I'll have to call him after the show. I mean, to be fair, my biggest thing is just like improper breeding practices have been so prevalent and since the early sort of 2000s, right? Like there's been so much feminization going on, so much immature genetics being forced early on to knock up themselves, and just a lot of weird stuff's been going on, right? And nobody pheno hunts. Well, a lot of people still do. There's still a lot of good breeders out there, but pheno hunting is not happening in the same way. Dan Stutzy says, "I didn't hear what you said." Yeah, well, no. What was I saying before? I mean, I think I'm still saying what I was saying before, but yeah, it's just improper breeding practices, everybody, that have been going on, and it is what it is. I've always been against feminization. Like, I think it's really cool that marijuana sounds cutting in and out. Okay, how about now? Can you hear me now? Is the sound coming through okay now? Can we hear me now? We're good? Okay, sweet. Um, you know, but now I've lost track. See, and this is where, like, I love how my boss could have called me all day yesterday. He could have called me all morning, but it's like the 1 hour and a half period of my day off on my second day off where I'm doing my live stream. That's when he chooses to call me. It's like bloody hell, man. Buzzkill Willis says, I still would like to freak ride grown. That was a good cross. Oh, heck yeah. No. For sure, bro. I will happily grow that out too. The sad thing is I have such limited space here right now. So that's one thing that is proving hard. Like I really wish I was in a bigger place. I am working slowly but surely to try to hopefully get back into the housing market. I've identified roughly kind of what my budget's going to be. If I can get the down payment together. So there are options here in BC, in Vancouver, that I can afford if I can get a down payment. So I could buy like a float house, for example, out in the Richmond area, and that I'm basically going to have to drop $500 to $600,000 on a float house. But in order to get a good mortgage with a decent rate, I'm going to need a 20% down payment. So, it's going to be like, what's that on 525, let's say? And 125, I think that's what, 102,500 or something like that. So it's a big chunk of change, and I'm not really quite sure where that's going to come from. I'm starting to save, obviously, but that's a slow process, and it'll take me forever at this rate if I'm just basically saving what little I can from paycheck to paycheck. I'm hoping for some side gigs in terms of other things that I can. Okay, awesome. I'm glad it's working for you now, That Guy Channel too. I'm hoping that I can get some side gigs that'll hopefully help me get some more monies coming in so I can try to get to that down payment faster. But we will see. We will see. But that's my plan. Like, my end goal is to try to get back into a house that I can afford on my own. With my new job, I will qualify for the mortgage. I just need the down payment in order to get it. So like one place that I was looking at, brand new, just built 2023 float house on the newest pylons, the newest type of technologies for a float house. It's about 1,200 square feet, big giant deck that I can build up on the top roof of it, so I can do an outdoor garden even too. As well as, it's 3 bedrooms, right? So I can have a recording studio and an office set up. I can have a grow room again and a bedroom, and it'll be wonderful. We'll have lots of space where we can actually keep playing around, both doing more comprehensive grows, growing multiple genetics at once, as well as furthering when we do find, some nice phenos that we can actually maybe, breed those out for everybody. Main Dad says, isn't the housing up there bad at the moment? Well, housing in general is bad and always is. It's worse now than it used to be. The thing to remember, especially with where I live in Canada, things are astronomically expensive. So, for example, my stepmother owns a house on the west side of Vancouver, not West Van, but on the west side of Vancouver, up by kind of the Kerrisdale, just before you hit Kerrisdale area. She's owned that house for many years. She bought it in the early 2000s for $1.2 million. Its standing value right now would be anywhere from $4 to $5 million. It's an old house. It's land value. I have zero hope in hell of buying a real house in Vancouver. That will never happen. It's just not a thing. It's never going to happen unless I become Oprah rich, win the lottery, or something stupid like that. But I can afford to get into a float house. So that's kind of what I'm working towards and trying to get there and stuff. Dan Stutzky, I've worked with a B lender before. My last house was a B lender. I had an amazing interest rate on that, but I did put down over 20%. So the last house I bought, I put down over 20%. I got 1.95 as my interest rate. I'm not going to get an interest rate that low again currently with the interest rates in Canada, but I'm not going to put less than 20% down if I can help it, unless they can guarantee me a good, decent locked in rate at maybe 10. But 10 is still a huge chunk of change, right? So like for me, in my mind, the difference between $51,000 or $52,000 and $103,000, they're like the same number in a sense in my head. So like, it's gonna require a miracle. I'm hoping that whenever I end up shooting this movie, we'll see when it actually happens. Once I actually shoot this movie, then if it does well in theaters, I could get a decent paycheck from that, and then that would hopefully give me, the down payment for the house. So I'm definitely working towards trying to get this together. Yeah, dude. I mean, Dan, I have talked to mortgage brokers. I know mortgage brokers. I have a lot of friends who are both realtors and mortgage brokers. I don't have a down payment right now, so there's no point in me talking to them, right? Like, I don't have the down payment. Like, even if I were to only do 10%, that's still over $50,000, right, for what I'm looking to buy. I'm not going to come in with 5. There's new laws in Canada, too, so you could do 5% for the first $500,000, but for the next $500,000 up to $1 million, you need 10%. So they've changed the rules in Canada in how mortgage lending even works. So it will be a bit of a work, I would say, to kind of get into. Marcus Paris, isn't rural areas cheaper for land? Yes, but they're still expensive. So like where I used to live in Hope, like the house that I used to own is worth $800,000 or $900,000. nowhere in BC is overly cheap. My friends moved up to Christina Lake. They still spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars for a small house. There is no such thing as a cheap house in British Columbia. If I wanted to move to another part of the country, like I could go to Prince Edward Island, and for what I'm spending on this float house, I could get a gorgeous giant house with property, but then I'm in Prince Edward Island. I have to, as an actor, currently right now with my career where it's at, I've got to be in Vancouver, BC, Toronto, or Montreal. And I don't want to go to Montreal, so that leaves Toronto or Vancouver, both of which I will never afford a house at. And plus my new job is a job, like if my acting career never works out, everybody, this job is a job that I can work, move up in the company and do very, very well at, and retire one day with, right? Like, so this job, and it's also like I'm learning so much. Like I'm learning every single day that I work, which is only going to help everything else that I do in terms of like the grow world and development and all of these types of things. So I've made the smart adult decision to get an adult job, a big boy job. So in case any of all my dreams fail, everybody, my dreams all fail, I've got this job. My starting salary, between my salary and my mileage, like I'm making $85,000 to $90,000 a year. Maybe a little bit more if I drive more on certain months. So I'm making decent money. But the scary thing is with the cost of living here in Vancouver, BC, is like that salary barely keeps me afloat. Like I'm basically financially treading water. I don't really go out much anymore. I don't go to the pubs anymore just because it's just not affordable for me. I basically go to work, I come home, I cook my dinner, I make some content, take care of my dogs, and then, try to make a plan to not collapse financially. 1 second here. I feel like I've missed a bunch of things. Dan Scootsy says, fair enough. I know that's the hard part. 100%. So Dan, I understand mortgages and I understand where they're at, interest rates, and I understand where I'm at financially. I've got an amazing credit rating, but the thing that's standing in between me and buying something right now is just the down payment, right? So that's what I'm going to have to come up with. That is the curse of my generation, really. What is with them pulling Airbnb off the island? I know that Airbnb there's been a bunch of weird stuff going on in Canada in terms of it. I don't really know the story on that one, everybody. I haven't paid that close attention to it, really, to be honest. Whatever happened to Pusa Studios at Potsquatch Growers? Who's Pusa Studios? I don't remember Pusa Studios. Yo, what's happening, Roman? Good to see you, buddy. I don't remember who Pusa Studios were. Yeah, Jansen, if you're talking about the new capital gains taxes, it doesn't directly apply to the sale of a home as long as you've lived there past a certain point. So as long as you hold that property as your primary residence for an extended period of time, I think it's 2 or 3 years. I think it might be 3 years. Those capital gains taxes don't apply. So there are rules around that. But you know what? It doesn't matter which government comes into power in Canada. They're going to all fuck us. They're just going to fuck us in different ways. It's just the nature of the government. 100%. It's the only way it is. No, totally, Dan. For me as an actor, I can't really leave the city right now with where my career is at. If I break out as an actor one day, then I won't be tied to Vancouver and I can move somewhere else in Canada that is more affordable. I was looking just for fun in Prince Edward Island because, I know I could get a job out there fairly easily. Because there's not a lot of young people there. But I've got a really good job now, right? I don't want to move for anything less. It'd have to be a better job than I have now, that's a tall bill to order. But out there, in certain places, if I go 25 minutes outside of Charlottetown, $600,000 gets me 2 or 3 acres. It gets me a 5,200 square foot 6-bedroom house plus a 3,500 square foot workshop on Phase 3 power. Then you come to Vancouver and I get a float house. If you know what I'm saying. Oh man. It's a crazy world we live in, my friends. It's expensive as hell. Man, just even going to try to go grocery shopping here in Vancouver right now, everybody, is astonishing. I went and bought a few things the other day for Canadian Thanksgiving, and so I needed more garlic powder, right? So I bought one of those uh, bigger garlic powder ones. You know what I mean? Like it's probably what like it'd be like if it was milliliters, it's like part of a liter, so it'd be like 800 or 900 milliliters maybe to the container. I think it's like 500 or 600 grams of garlic powder. So it's a decent size. But that in Vancouver, BC, in Canada at the store was $17 or $18 now. It's astonishing. Yeah, so Dan, like, I mean, the wages are decent here. We've got decent, stuff. I mean, it's just the sad thing is this job here in BC, almost anywhere else in Canada, I would be able to buy like an actual house. Where here I have to buy a float house. But I mean, you know what? The float house I was looking at, I mean, if I had the down payment, I would already be making a move on it. But I just don't. So, but like, yeah, like it's going to cost me over $500,000 just to buy a float house that comes with no property, but it is brand new at least, right? It's brand new. It's built with all the newest tech. So that's kind of cool. And it will appreciate in value. And then on top of your mortgage for a float home, you've got to pay your mortgage. So you're paying mortgage fees as well. So that's part of the expense into buying a float house. So it's not cheap. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that'd be my see you later, Yeti. Much love, brother. I hope you enjoy the concert, my friend. But just when getting into the housing market or making any decisions like that, like look out for capital gains taxes, um, realized gains taxes, unrealized gains taxes is a new thing being put forward in the States. I was just talking to a buddy about it last night. So just know the laws, know what's going on, and make an educated decision. You know what I'm saying? Got to be safe. Got to be safe. World's a crazy place out there, and so we just gotta keep working hard and hope for the best and try to move forward. That's basically been my mantra for like the last 3 years of my life, I think. Just keep on keeping on, no matter what happens. Oh, good times, good times. And I apologize if I seem mildly distracted. The fact that my boss called me during the show, it always throws me off when the job calls. And it's like, man, like, and it's like one of the things I find funny is that my boss is like, on my days off, don't call me unless it's an emergency. And I'm like, cool. Can we do the same thing as a two-way street for Josh then? Because you just called and screwed up the flow of my show that I haven't even done one in 3 weeks because I've been working too much for the damn company. It is what it is. I'll give him a shout after the show. It'll be all right. Dude, groceries are extremely expensive, Jansen Dennis. Totally. And that's why sort of affordable growing, low cost things that you can build and do yourself and make on your own is sort of something going forward that I really want to kind of do for everybody. Okay, so Miss K's garden, garlic powder is expensive for you guys there too. That's ridiculous. Yeah, it's scary how much stuff costs here. You know, if you were to do a rough comparison, like on gas, for example, right now to here in the States, I think it's basically would work out to like roughly like $8 a gallon in terms of the cost of gas here in Canada. But also too, what are you gonna do? No point in bitching and whining about it. I'm just gonna keep on soldering on and having fun. I mean, the good news is I'm pretty excited about some of these new videos that I've got a genuinely good idea to make, and I think they're gonna be pretty affordable and also utilizing kind of playing with some of the new skill sets that I'm doing a lot of the time. Absolute cannabis experience. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call PBR ever a good beer. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's all right. It's affordable-ish. I mean, you wouldn't want to know what it costs for a 2.4 PBR in Canada, America. I think it would scare you. But yeah, it functions. It's affordable. Dan Stutsky, liver's still cheap. The funny thing is, liver's not even cheap here anymore. Like, everything has gone up. Like, you should see what meat costs now. Like, meat is astonishingly expensive in Canada. And let's be fair, it's always been expensive. Yeah, no, I realize you meant on draft absolute cannabis. And I would say, again, I would say the same statement I said about canned PBR to draft PBR. It's all right. It's affordable. and it gets the job done. Oh, I don't disagree with you. Absolute cannabis. Now, I would say a lot of places though where beer tastes weird off of draft, it's because they've got dirty lines and they don't maintain their systems properly. As someone who worked in that industry a lot over the years, you'd be astonished at the things you would see on the tap lines and the keg rooms at places. It's pretty gross. The amount of sediment, the fact that nobody cleans things, or if they have their lines cleaned, the people doing the cleaning don't actually properly flush it. Um, Sindor next, $9 a pound for ground beef doesn't sound that bad to me. Compared to like Vancouver, bro, like it is so expensive here, man. Like I bought a well, how big? I'm just trying to think of how big this was. They called it like a family pack. So it was like maybe a little over a kilo. So it was like maybe like 2.5 pounds. Let's say 2.5 pounds of lean ground beef. And uh, was sorry, what are you talking about, Boston Buds? I'm confused, buddy. No fighting, everybody. Get along. I think it was like $28, 28.56 if I'm remembering correctly. So like, and that was on sale. So on sale, it was like $28.56 for roughly 2.5 pounds or so of stuff of ground beef, like lean ground beef. It was astonishing. Okay, everybody, play nice with each other. Okay, this is not a place for infighting. We all have different ideas on things. Okay, I will say mothballs aren't something that are a go-to thing for me, but you know, we're not going to go there. Mothballs are basically thermite. Try putting mothballs in a gas tank and see what happens for the engine block. The car will run very well for a few minutes, and then the engine block will melt out of it. But everybody, be nice to each other, please. Be nice. Interior fighting here. It's not what the Potsquatch movement and group is about. We are a community. We're here to lift each other up and be nice to each other. And we can have differences of opinion and think differently and still get along, everybody. All right. So anyway, back to what we were talking about. We were talking about sort of the cost of living here in Canada. So it's astonishing. And not to mention that the Canadian dollar right now is ridiculously weak too. So that makes it even harder when you're trying to purchase things, because most of the world functions in USD. So like most of the suppliers and stuff. So like, because Canadian textiles are really expensive. So like for ordering t-shirts and ordering stuff, I usually often have worked with companies in the States and stuff. So everything's posted in USD. Like our grinders, when we made those were USD, and we paid USD for them, right? So it's like right now, my ability as a Canadian, given that I earn and function in Canadian dollars, is so expensive. I'm hoping it improves a little bit. It does. So, Dan, I totally agree with you. Like the other night, I wanted to make lasagna for me and my lady friend. And so I made us a lasagna. I wanted to make a scratch bolognese, and I made a bechamel sauce to make it all nice. But so I was like, well, it's almost the same amount of work to make a huge batch of bolognese. So I made a huge batch of bolognese. So it was less work. Um, Definitely, like, it's cheaper than buying sauce, at least, right? Like it was definitely cheaper than that. As someone who's worked as an executive chef of multiple restaurants, I've been known to cook once or twice. Um, that's actually one of the things. Like, I mean, because I've just been like so stressed out about the cost of things and just living and how much it costs to live. And then like, like I still like the fact that I'm making the amount of money a year I make, and I am also digging myself out of a hole because I didn't work for a few months there. But like the fact that I can't just order a new fan for my tent and just afford that, like that seems strange to me, right? With the amount of money I make. What's up, Cadillac Jack? Good to see you, buddy. Um, you know, but it is what it is, right? And but that was one of the things of like talking about cooking and cheap cooking or cheap ways to do things. So like what I want to do for the Grow channel here of like showing people affordable ways to build, you know, supplementary lighting systems, building their own newts, you know, mixing their own soils, doing X, doing Y, doing Z, and trying to reduce the actual cost for the at-home grower or the new grower just getting into it. Has been something that's really on my mind for this channel and things we can do there to try to make things accessible, affordable, and attainable for people. But then that was another idea was like, you know, like, man, I should start making some content on a different channel maybe, and showing people affordable meals, easy, you know, cooking stuff and things to do. And you're not wrong, Dan. If you are somewhere where you live close to farmers markets or live close to actual farmers, buy local, do that. It is way more affordable. I'm in the heart of a city, sadly. So the amount of money I'd have to spend on gas to get out where the farms are, it kind of defeats the purpose. Um, but it is what it is. What are you going to do? How's Florida, Cadillac Jack? You survive all the crazy storms and stuff a few weeks back? 2-3 weeks, I guess now? Did they hit where you were, Cadillac Jack, or you're good? Oh, 100% Marcus Paris. You know, if you get like old veggies that are about to go or that they're like throwing out or have made super cheap at the store, you can make vegetable stocks out of that. You know, one of the things I like to do is if I buy, like, let's say I go buy a whole beef strip loin and break that down, and you can get stewing beef out of there. You can get some cuts for rendering, or you can feed them to your dogs. You can get a bunch of different steaks. Tell Sierra I say hello. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, Sindor Next, I've heard about that shit, bro. I've legit heard about that. There's like a new emerging black market for like butter and like meat, and like grocery theft has gone through the roof. So you've got like people all over Canada like stealing butter or stealing like meat and shit from the grocery stores. And it's like, okay, it's not the way. It's going to make it more expensive for everybody by stealing from stores. So don't do that. Yes, are big corporations making a shitload of money? Yes, but it's not going to help us by stealing from them. It's going to make things up because their margins are already so tight at the grocery store. They're just going to pass on those losses to us, right? So it's just nuts. So yeah, but bro, I legit have heard about that Sindor Next. I've heard about that. I've read about it, and it's nuts. But that's the world we live in right now. Hey, bro, Buzzkill Willis, have a beautiful dinner with the wifey. Tell her I say what's happening, and tell her I say yo. But, you know, what are you going to do, though, right? Like, I mean, the world is just a very expensive place, and I'm hoping things will come down, but absolute cannabis experience, yes, but they're also going to market those losses as part of their thing and pass on the cost to us. So I'm just saying, stealing is never the way to go. You know, I may be a blunt, honest asshole at times. I may have very different thoughts than some on things, and I'm not afraid to share my opinion. But like my ethics, my morals, my integrity, that's something that no one can take from me, no matter how hard or bad the world gets. So I'm never going to be an advocate for that. You know. It is really. I mean, the cost of living, and I think, you know, at the end of the day, like, and I think that's where some of the content that I want to make for people at home who watch this channel about basic ways to do things more affordably in terms of our grows is going to be a really beneficial and helpful content because I think, okay, cool. I wasn't saying that you were necessarily. It seemed like you might be, but cool, awesome. We're clarified on that one, absolute. But, you know, a lot of the people who watch this channel, you know, like we're not rich people, right? Like we're not people who have the money to go buy all the glitzy grow equipment or buy the fanciest things to work with or this or that. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, I think it could be really beneficial for the people, both new and old, who watch this channel about like, you know, talking about ways to make things affordably. I think a lot of people don't have the skills to work with tools. They don't have the skills to fix things anymore, right? And that's something, though, that I've been learning a lot about. That's what I do for work now. And I kind of want to share that with people, right? So if we can share that about certain things, I mean, that I think that'll help, right? Like, for example, if you find an old fluorescent tube ballast that's still functioning, you can actually build, your secondary supplementary lighting systems for your tent. It's very simple wiring. That's the basic premise of what we're going to be making for this new side lighting system that we're going to build, that'll be compatible with any basic, 2x4 or 4x4. I mean, technically it could go into any grow tent. If I was building it into like a big 4x8, let's say, I'd probably build two of them and then have a total of 8 bulbs in there for secondary side lighting. The great thing about these new LED replacement tubes that are compatible to old school fluorescent ballasts is that they can go right into this old tech. They don't throw off tons of heat, but they're throwing off extra side lighting at the proper Kelvin color, because you can get like a Philips LED replacement at 3500 Kelvin, which is going to be good for both veg and flower. 3500 Kelvin is one of my happy places in terms of light for plants. But it's not going to be outperforming in terms of the actual par rating or the luminosity or the lumens it's giving off to confuse your plants. So you're still going to have your primary sun replacement, which is your primary light, as the dominant light source in your grow. And then it'll be less confusing for your plant, is what I'm saying, really, at the end of the day. Right? Exactly, Marcus Paris. It's all about frugality, creativity, and trying to help, those at home who are trying to grow their own medicine to be able to do so. Plus, it opens up a lot of fun content for us to make at the channel. That's kind of going to be, it'll be creative. We can do some cool stuff and play around with things and have a good time and rock and roll. You know what I'm saying? 1 second here. I'm just reading. Yeah, little chewy stewy. I mean, I've got a lot of stuff in my ice box. Like, I'm big on making big batches of things and freezing things. And when things are on deal, I buy them and freeze them. So like for me these days, like I do like a basic grocery shop for basic things or things that I'll need. But like, a big part of feeding myself right now is just, making big batches of stuff, buying things that are on special, and then just freezing that shit. And then, going forward with that, right? But yeah, those are some fun things to go with, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so yeah, that's the fun, exciting things coming on Potsquatch Growers. We've got the new side lighting video that we're going to make hopefully this month. Mondays will be the video update. So the one week video dropped yesterday. 2 weeks of flower will be next Monday. Going forward, it seems that my days off have stabilized. So my days off typically will be Mondays and Tuesdays. So going forward, you'll get your update video right now, at least on this grow, on Mondays, and then we'll do our live streams on Tuesdays. And that's kind of be going forward, I think, how we're going to approach it. Maybe after this grow, we might switch it around. We could do the update videos on Tuesdays and then lives on Mondays. I don't really know which day works best. I almost feel like Mondays seem to get a better attendance, but out of Monday and Tuesday, for those who are watching, and if you're watching this after the fact, feel free to comment in the comments section. What works better for live streams for people? What do we have a preference? Is Monday a better day? Is Tuesday a better day? Like, what's a better day for that? Plant's doing well enough. I mean, she's finicky. She's weird. She's stressed. I've probably crammed way too much light in there. But again, you know me. I like to do that. I like to fuck around with things. It's flowering really well, though. So that's where I mean, I was kind of hoping to really fill out the entire tent. Almost the entire tent is completely packed. But with its weird finickiness and it just being chachi, and it threw, a lot of like dual and trifoliate fans out of stress. I was like, it's probably time just to flip it. So we flipped it, and we've got it going. I will say, though, even though it's stress-induced in a lot of ways, it seems to be more resinous than most plants are. Like, even just defoliating this thing, my fingers are sticky. Like, they're really sticky. And so that's a good sign. And it's flowering really well. Like, it's taken really well overall in terms of its nodal segmentation and creating all these side branches into primaries. I think we're going to have a record-breaking yield on this one. It's going to be a huge yield for a 2x4, and lots of beautiful donkey penises, as I affectionately have called them over the years. Walter Wiseman, at the moment, we're doing a blue cheese by Girl Scout cookies. Miss K's garden's like, I was fine with me. I'll be at work both days. Are you at work right now, Miss K? You bad girl watching the show while you're supposed to be working. I don't want to get you in trouble, girl. Oh man, you've harvested all your outdoors now, Miss K. Have you brought those down? Right? No, little Chewy Stewie. I don't disagree with you, man. Girl Scout cookies is just seems to be mixed with everything. Girl Scout cookies has made this weird backbone to a lot of the new genetics that are coming out. And I was never sold on Girl Scout cookies when it was just Girl Scout cookies when it first came out. I mean, it was all right. It had good, decent flower formation. It was consistent, fairly decent density buds. Uniformity was there. It had a lot of bag appeal to it. I never found it the best tasting or hitting smoke. I mean, I thought it was overrated, but it's become such a backbone to a lot of new intermixes people are making. And I think that's part of the problem. I think that's part of where the weird floopiness maybe on this cross is, and it's no fault to the breeder at all. Who did it? It's a Potsquatch at home who made these and sent them to me. It's indicative of compounding weird fragility happening within the overuse and improper breeding of everything with this Girl Scout cookies. So I think Girl Scout cookies in and of themselves now, to try to find a stable original or pure kind of source, as it were, is trickier now than it used to be. But that can be said for a lot of things. Like, I mean, it also happened with OG Kush. Like, I mean, OG Kush became a staple and primary in so many things over the years. But then the true original OG, the ocean grown Kush, I wouldn't say it's necessarily been lost. I'm sure some people still have it in its original pure form, but good luck trying to find it though, right? Like, unless you got it from the hood days, right? That one stuff. One stuff says the next plant should be low stress trained with leather straps and chains. Getting all kinky on that one. Sorry, I'm just reading here. Yeah, wedding cake again was a very common strain that was very popular, and again, I was never sold on it either. Wedding cake, Girl Scout cookies, things of this nature. I was never overly sold on them. They weren't my like. I mean, I respected the strains and I respected like certain positive attributes that they did have, uh, and all of that. It's pretty good, you know. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, all right, all right. Miss K's Garden says she's in the jars going to see what weight I get this weekend. Heck yeah, Miss K's Garden. Are you going to do a weight video showing the weight of what your yield was? I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm looking forward to seeing it, my friend. Sorry, everybody. I'm just reading. Well, to be fair, it's been a good show, everybody. I just can't shake the fact that my boss called me in my bloody head. Little Chew Stew, what's my Instagram? My Instagram is Potsquatch Growers, and if you mean someone else, but mine is Potsquatch Growers. Dan Stutzky, even McDonald's is expensive. Yeah, I know, and they're having like weird salmonella like outbreaks all over the states right now from that one farm out of California for their diced onion product, and it's like not even real food. Like McDonald's is so fake, and it's even expensive. It's astonishing. Like it's weird. Like fast food was an option in that it was cheap and it was fast. Now, I don't know. A lot of places don't seem to be that fast, and it's so expensive now. You're almost better off going and eating at a restaurant because at least you're getting real food. But it's been a good show, everybody. And Little Chewy Stewie, feel free to shoot me a message there. We should catch up, man. It's been a hot minute. I got to call my boss first, but then I'll be around and available to chat if you want to have a quick chat, buddy. It's been a great show, everybody. What's up, Earth Creeper? I'm sorry, I'm just ending it, buddy. But we will, like I said, be live next Tuesday. We will drop the 2 weeks of flower update on Monday. and keep it real and keep it sexy, okay? Like, subscribe, do all that if you're into it. Tell your friends. Again, I'll call our computer guy today too. So starting, I should be able to have the sale go live. I was going to say November 1st. We'll do it tonight, this evening. So watch the store. We're going to do 25% off everything on the store until December 31st. So the last 2 months of 2024, we're going to put everything on the store on sale, 25% off. One that'll help and make it a little bit more affordable if you want to get some beans or something like that for someone you care about for Christmas, as well as, you know, everything's so bloody expensive. It's the least I can do to try to help people. Anyway, everybody, remember, the true grower is the forever student. The true grower makes educated, stupid decisions. The true grower has fun and finds out. Never be afraid to try something new. Remember, there's 1,001 highways to the same destination. We learn more from our mistakes than we do from our successes. Everybody remembers a good book was good, but a bad book, that teaches you and helps you write a better book. All right, everybody. The lights, too. That one stuff, no, I don't have the power to make the lights on sale for 2 months. I am partnered with another company. I'm sure there will be a sale coming up soon for those at some point. I'm sure we'll do a Black Friday thing. I'm sure there'll be something for Christmas, but I'll have to talk to my cohort on that one. I can put our store on sale without asking anybody because I'm the boss. I'm only half of the partnership on the lights, so I'll have to look into that, though, for show. All right, everybody. Have a good one. Love yourselves and love your plants. And remember, the world's a dark place. Remember, we don't have to think the same way to get along. And also, let's hope for the best, because the world is a dark, crazy place right now. So here's hoping. All right. We'll see you soon, everybody. Thank you for everyone who tuned in today. And we will see you soon, all right? All right, all right, all right. Peace and love, everybody. Uncle Potsquatch out.